So the pocket rockets of the past that gave us thrilling performance in an affordable everyday package. But somehow over the years, things have changed, as they always do, and not really for the better. So what happened? How did we go from lightweight, relatively cheap and fun, very much fun, to bloated, expensive, overcomplicated, not so hot hatches like we used to enjoy from the, well, not 70s so much for me, but from the sort of 80s and 90s. So let's take a journey through the evolution of the hot hatch and figure out, where did it all go wrong? Our story begins in the 1970s. This was a time when the world was recovering from the oil crisis and people needed affordable, practical cars. But there was a growing demand for something with a little bit more excitement. The Pioneer. That was the Volkswagen Golf GTI, launched in 1976. It was a small, lightweight, 1.6 litre fuel-injected engine combined with practical, hatchback space and performance. And that really kicked off the hot hatch revolution. Rising competition then came from the Peugeot 205 GTI, the Renault 5 Turbo, and then the Ford Escort XR3, and then later on the XR2. The French got involved and things got spicy. Peugeot 205 GTI, arguably the best hot hatch ever, let me know in the comments if you disagree, was light, simple, and handled like a dream. Renault 5 Turbo, on the other hand, was a mental mid-engine design, but still compact and raw, brutal power. The Ford Escort XR3, heavier, but it was still fun, and it kept fun affordable. Back then, the hot hatches were all about three things: lightness, simplicity, and driving excitement. There was no driving modes and no unnecessary tech, just a small car with a bigger engine and a big personality. The 90s saw the peak of the hot hatch evolution. Cars were getting a little more refined, but they stayed true to their roots. We see the Peugeot 306 GTI 6 for its perfect handling, the Honda Civic Type R EK9, a high-revving VTEC engine, which is wonderful, and the Golf GTI Mark III, although it's starting to get a little bit heavy now compared to the Mark I. The balance between raw and refined. Cars were getting safer and slightly heavier, but still lightweight and engaging. No turbocharging yet, other than the Renault 5 Turbo I mentioned, but keeping a responsive, sharp drive. At this stage, hot hatches were still relatively simple, affordable, and most importantly, full of character. But as we entered into the 2000s, things started to change. So we're in the 2000s now, and manufacturers realised that a turbocharged engine means a lot more power and can make the cars a lot faster. So the turbo era begins. More power and more weight. VW Golf GTI Mark V 2004 brought back the excitement and also added lots of weight. The Ford Focus RS Mark I, a 212 brake horsepower with its sort of modern aggressive styling we hadn't seen before. Renault Clio 182, still lightweight, but one of the last of its kind. Cars now are bigger, heavier, and packed full of tech. Safety regulations weigh it down. bigger chassis, crumple zones, airbags, more and more tech added, such as traction control, ABS, and an infotainment system, and prices start creeping up higher and higher, as what we're seeing today. In the 2010s, that was the downfall for the hot hatch. So we're in 2010, and the cracks have well and truly formed. This is the downfall of the hot hatch. Hot hatches have become too powerful, too expensive, and too reliant on electronics. And we saw the Mercedes A45 AMG with 400 brake horsepower all-wheel drive, and the Audi RS3, insanely fast but very heavy. Honda Civic Type R FK8, great but massive in size. Entry-level hot hatches now cost over £40,000 in some cases, with too many driving modes, touchscreen distractions, and heavy due to the emissions regulations, crash safety, and all the loaded tech that they build into the models. Remember when a hot hatch was a simple, cheap thrill to drive? Now manufacturers are selling them as premium performance cars. And while they're fast, they're missing the raw, lightweight, and fun factor that made them great in the first place. So where do we go from here? Is the hot hatch really dead? We seem to be being forced down the EV route, like the Hyundai Ioniq, is it Ioniq or something, 5N, which is the electric equivalent of a hot hatch for the future, or the hybrid powertrains that could be a solution, but they keep the fun alive because we've still got the ICE engine. Who knows? I think we're all going to be eventually forced into electric vehicles. And we have to look at what the best is out there. And currently, I think the Renault 5 EV is a really small, lightweight, I wouldn't say it's really a hot hatch because it's not that great performance, but it will improve, but it's got the looks. And the Toyota GR Yaris, well, that is a real gem of a car, and it sticks to its old formula. So are they going to electrify that version and make it into the hot hatch equivalent of what the ICE engine is? We'll see. There's still hope, and we need to watch this space, because I always have a love for cars, and I hate to say it, but we try and hold on to our ICE engine cars for as long as possible. I know I will, but I do think there's going to become a time when we're literally just forced off the road. So, we need manufacturers to remember what made hot hatches great in the first place. Simplicity, affordability, that's a big one. Make them affordable, and the Renault 5 is going in that right direction. It's becoming more affordable. What the used values of that will be in the future, we will see. You'll probably be picking one up for 16,000, which is still a lot of money, really, for what is a small car. But, we don't want overpowered. We want fun. We like the power, but not too much power. We don't want overpriced cars, and we don't want loads of tech. Let's bring back the buttons, so you can, not everything on a touch screen. Manufacturers, we don't want that. We want some buttons so we can easily press the climate control going up and down. Listen to what we want. Anyway, my closing thoughts. Well, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. What's your favourite hot hatch of all time? And what do you think is the model equivalent of your favourite all-time hot hatch? What do you think of an electric hot hatch? because that's where we're going, isn't it? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.